So, welcome to the first probably episode in probably a long time. Sorry I haven't been around for the last couple years. I've kind of been through a lot, but I just haven't had a video topic to talk about in a while. And yeah, there's so much going on with gaming, the Game Awards coming up, but I wanted to talk about something I had been recently doing. So, for everybody who goes, oh, you shouldn't have done that. First off, I decided to build a computer for the first time. And I didn't build it by myself. I had a friend help me build it because it's my first computer and I like to have a little bit of insurance. So he did a lot of the work for me as well because I'm a little scared of breaking. And he built like 6 computers. And he's my best friend. And I cannot help but anything but help that he can help me. So he did a really good job. So, and if you're wondering, it is a Ryzen 7 7000X CPU. Really good for streaming and what I'm doing right now, which I'm doing right now here. And then what am, I also, the graphics card is a 500, 5070 graphics card, which is actually good enough for me right now. It is good enough for me right now. So, and it helps. It also, I've been streaming again, so I've been making it more and more possible for me for streaming. So, I wanted to do all this for a very long time. And before I say, why people would argue with us is because of it's actually it is reasonable. It is the RAM apocalypse now, which I mean is just the random excess memory. My RAM has 32 gigabytes, and I found out I paid $80 for this thing, and the RAM that's almost close to mine is now the last time I checked was $370. I could have bought a console, or I could have just put an extra couple bucks just to get a PlayStation 5. And you gotta thank AI for that. So, what I wanted to do was I wanted to talk about the differences between PC and console gaming, and not what is superior or what is better. It's more like what is the differences? I can tell you, like we'll start with controllers, like a mouse, uh, a mouse and keyboard, which I'm gonna hold this like this. Yeah, it could cost a lot of money, but sometimes it just depends on your preference. But but um but it always feels for me I'm always going to be very intense and looking on the screen at all times. I'm sorry for the yawn. I'm doing this while I'm recording. I haven't got my editing rig back, so you have to deal with this stuff. So and I've gotten myself where I'm just very leaned in like this, where on a console where I'm in my living room, I could just kick back and relax and just go like this and be like, hold on. And they'll say, yeah, but you could do that on PC. I'm kind of just saying that within the environment of where you're sitting and everything. And they'll say, yeah, but you could do that with a PC. But I'm like, yeah, but not everybody's gonna put their computer up to a television set because some people probably prefer a mount, a monitor, and and that stuff. Uh, the good thing is and now part two, customization. Consoles don't really have that much customization. Besides sliding of the faceplates right now for PlayStation and controllers to express yourself. But like I said, sorry, I'm yawning. But like I said, PC you can customize to what you want to look. I have this nice mid tower glass that's kind of like the glass display so it shows all the parts. So the best way to kind of describe it is with RGB, obviously. The best way to kind of describe it is like sort of like modern transparent, sort of like back back in the day when they used to make translucent consoles, which I always loved that. That's why my keyboard's slightly translucent as well, especially when it lights up. It is beautiful. Um, you know, and then like you know, but I will say this though. I will say that like and that's the difference right there. And then the customability, this is where PC I think wins is sort of like how much money do you want to put into it and how long do you want it to last. So like my computer will probably last maybe 5 to 8 years. That's my guess. I don't know. Gaming getting tougher and tougher. And now let's go. So consoles. The good thing is you can play a game on a big ass TV. I'm so sorry. You'll have to deal with all that stuff. Like I'm I'm gonna work on all this stuff once I get stuff back together. But you know, and like I said, you could play a game on 65 TV and relax and everything like there. So always and enjoy a great story game. Where I don't feel like I can enjoy sometimes a story game on this on this little setup I have right now. If I wanted to, I could throw a very long HDMI cable, throw it up to that TV right here. But I don't feel like I'm compelled to do that. I feel like I'm fine just being in this little corner with my little TV right here. So yeah, but yeah, but like, but it's like the biggest difference is like frames per second. I'm gonna tell you this right now. What you're looking at right now, maybe you're only seeing me at 30 frames per second because that's how much the eye can actually see. But PC has more frames. But console has a consistent frame, so it sort of like keeps it up all the time and tries to keep it up, and that's a really another big difference right there. But PC will always have more frames because of the hardware and everything. And another thing I think that consoles don't have that PC has, I feel like I'm surprised we haven't done this yet. But speaking of all the AI, especially during the PS5 era, is DLSS and AMD's FSRI, which is like multiple frame generation. I feel like we should have been enabling that stuff in games because people are complaining about how frame rates are not going beyond what they should be. And, maybe they should add that to consoles. Just saying that's just me trying to, like figure out what was wrong with the picture right now. But you know what? And then you know what? I'm not gonna go into the thing of who has the better library because it just depends on what you're gaming on. Like I will say yes, PC has the bigger library, bigger, but sometimes you'll find some of these scammy games on there. Same with consoles. So, and I think the biggest plus right now for me for consoles is that, and I have to say this, online is free on PC, unlike consoles. I'll probably be paying at a lower tier now, but it is kind of ridiculous that we have to pay on consoles right now, especially if the next generation of consoles are going to be $1,200. It's like that is ridiculous in my opinion. And they'll be like, "Well, we did that for the service and everything," but like Sony at least provides free games. Microsoft provides free games, even on their lowest tier. But but I would have loved a free tier where I don't have to worry about that stuff. And that would open up and that kind of would open up the ecosystem a little bit more because all these companies are all about, whoa, we need to get this unlimited revenue and everything. If you just make online free, I bet you that people will probably just sink more money into microtransactions But what do I know? I'm just your average consumer. So, but you know what? I'll say this: it just with everything it is, this video isn't about what is superior. It is about preference. And for me, I'm right now the reason I built a computer is because I was getting really tired of like just how consoles are right now and where we're going. And like and plus like right now we're 5 years into the PlayStation life cycle, PlayStation 5 life cycle, and it still feels like it should be new. But you know what? That's Sony's fault for just being like, hey, we want to do these live services, and Microsoft just going, consoles are dead. We're now a third-party manufacturer, even though you're still developing Xboxes. And you know what? The only one that's doing pretty well is Nintendo. Like, yeah, they have to pay for online, but at least it's $20 for the lowest tier. So, but you know what? This is all about preferences. So, like, if someone says like PC is better, that's fine. That's their opinion and everything. And like, and if consoles is for somebody else, because what the best thing about consoles is they don't have to worry about building it or buying a prepaid thing and hoping it won't break, and not worry about spending a lot of money. But what's great about consoles is that everything's ready to go out and everything's optimized for you immediately. So that's one of the good takes of that's like one of the best takes I think about consoles. So, but yeah, so it's been a while, and I haven't done this in a while because I've been constantly thinking about what should I bring back, and Mediaverse has been not my concern for the last 3 years, but now that I'm back, I'm gonna make sure I do have some content, and I'm gonna make it more about basing on experiences and stuff. Like the rise. Maybe next time I'll talk about the rise and fall of Marvel with somebody. Who knows? But right now, I am gonna be doing some videos from and this is gonna be my first video, and I'll try to get a new video up around the first month of the new year. All right, have a great day. See you on the see 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 you around the Mediaverse.